Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce week 4 to you. We're looking at the imperfect and double object pronouns. You are going to want to study pages 237 to 240 and pages 254 to 257. At the end after completing this week's assignments, you should be able to use the preterite tense, sports, and weather vocabulary to write a paragraph describing what you did last summer. You should know when to use the imperfect tense and how to correctly form it. You should be able to distinguish between direct and indirect object pronouns and know how to use the two of them together. These assignments address student learning outcomes 1, 2, and 5. All of this week's work is due by the end of the day, the 30th. You want to start this week like all others by looking at your instructor-made videos. There's videos on double object pronouns, irregular verbs in the imperfect, and just the regular imperfect. After you've watched the videos, you want to click on the class participation forum, click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about material covered in the video. If you have none, then post that you have no questions, but you have to post something. We also have a test on chapter 7 this week, so when you're ready, you'll open it up. The first part says, complete the following sentences by choosing the appropriate verb. So read through the sentence and then pick the verb that would best, and the spelling of the verb that would best complete the sentence. You have quite a few that are like that. Then here it also says, completa la frase. Choose the correct indefinite or negative expression to complete the following sentences. So the same, read through the sentence and then pick the negative or indefinite expression that completes the sentence. And there's a few like that. And then, okay, and then there's some more of completing the sentence with the appropriate verb. And then here it says, más verbos irregulares. Complete the following sentences with a logical verb from the word bank in the preterite tense. Be sure to make any necessary changes to the verb form. So you'll pick the verb that would best complete the sentence and then change it into the preterite tense. Here it says, ayer en la universidad. Listen to the paragraph, then read the statement carefully and decide whether it is cierto or falso. So you'll read the statements below after listening to this recording. Decide whether the statements are true or false. If they're not mentioned, then write no se menciona. Un día la semana pasada, Felipe, an international student from the Dominican Republic, is telling you about what happened one day last week. Complete each sentence with the correct preterite form of the logical verb in parentheses. So you've got 2 choices of verbs. Pick the one that best completes the sentence and then conjugate it into the preterite tense. Los objetos. Your little brother likes to repeat everything you say. Complete his sentences by filling in the blanks with the correct double object pronoun. So you need to identify the direct object and the indirect object. Replace them with their pronouns and plug them in here. And remember that you cannot have both an indirect and a direct that starts with an L. If that's the case, your indirect becomes se. And don't forget that indirects come before directs. Here, me lo traes. Fill in the blank with the correct response to each question. Read the questions, then pick the response that would make the most sense and write it in the blank. Es horrible estar aburrido. What advice? What do you do when you are bored? Do you lie on the sofa all day and watch TV? Read the following advice on what to do about boredom. Complete the paragraph with the correct words from the word bank. No word is repeated. So you've got a word bank. Pick the word that would make the most sense and write it in the blanks given. Tomorrow is your big vocabulary test. Complete each of the following sentences with the logical word or phrase from the list. So read the sentences and then pick the vocabulary word that would best complete it. Here it says, el deporte del verano. Most people have a favorite sport, and Gustavo is no exception. Below he describes his favorite sport. Complete his description with the correct words from the list. So you'll read the sentence and then pick a word from the list and write it in the blank to best complete the whole paragraph. El tiempo libre. Complete the following sentences about free time and the weather with a logical word from the word bank. So pick a word from the word bank and then plug it into the sentences below. And then lastly, fill in the blanks with the verbs from the list in the correct preterite tense. So you'll take estar, dar, and tener, fill them in here, and then conjugate them correctly. When you're done, hit finish attempt. Okay. You also have an activity in My Language Labs. So you'll click on My Language Labs when you're ready. It'll take you out, and then you will complete these SAM and extra practice activities. So when you're ready, you'll be out here in My Language Labs. You will click on, go up here to the course calendar. Then you'll click on the 23rd. And the assignments will pop up in the middle. You can do them as many times as you would like. I think after the third time it will give you the correct answers, and if you're doing it more than that, you should reach out to me for help. You also have writing assignment 1. The workshop is in a week above. It'll be moved down here. You'll see something like this below this label. You'll click on it. You should see someone else's draft. You need to go through and critique their writing. For oral dialogue 2, we're getting started. You've decided to talk about your childhood. Prepare for the recording by writing a script. So you'll open up oral dialogue. This is the first phase. So for oral dialogue 1, you have decided to talk about your childhood. Prepare for the recording by writing a script in which you describe in Spanish what you were like as a child. Be as detailed as possible and use the following information as a guide. So you need to talk about what you look like, some aspects of your personality, what activities or sports you used to do, with whom you used to spend your time, where you used to live, and what your room was like. So when you're ready, you'll hit start preparing your submission. You'll give me all that information in paragraph form and hit save changes. Remember, this is a workshop, so it will get moved to the next week after this week, and you will see, when you open it up, you'll see someone else's draft. You are to critique their draft, and then the following week you're going to see the critiques as well as critiques that I provided, and you will write your final draft, which will actually get graded. You also have to do 743, which I've put into okay, so you'll click on start here. You're going to read through this information right here, and then you're going to decide whether the statements below are cierto or falso based on the information that you read. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, I got kicked out of my week. We are week 4, and then you also have this Club Cultura activity. So you're going to open it up. Click on attempt quiz now. You are going to watch a video. This is the link to the video. You can put on closed captions. You can click English or Spanish, and when it's playing, you'll see the captions at the bottom. Okay, or you can pull up the video transcripts as well to look at while you're watching the video, and then decide whether these statements are true or false based upon what you saw in the video. And I think that is everything for week 4.